Welcome to the Morale Booster Network, a platform for entrepreneurs, career professionals, leaders, and the general public to give back to the society through coaching and mentoring. I remain your host, Dr. John Ugulu. I am an author, speaker, and strategist. I always say experience is the best teacher. You can stream or download this podcast from YouTube, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Music, Google Podcast, Player FM, and Pandora. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Hello, Morale Boosters. Welcome to the Morale Booster Podcast. I am Dr. John Ugulu, and if this is your very first time listening to the Morale Booster Podcast, you're very welcome. Please like, leave a comment, and share the broadcast because you might just be saving the life of that one person who has been waiting for a lifetime to hear the message that we will be sharing today. So let's embark on this inspiring journey together. Before we get started, I want to remind you once again that if you feel blessed or inspired by today's podcast, you can support the work we do here by making a donation to the John Ugulu Foundation. Now, this foundation is committed to providing online coaching and mentoring services to as many people as possible. So if you'd like to contribute and make a difference today, head over to our website, www.johnugulu.com, or click the link in our show notes. So today, I'm thrilled to welcome a very special guest. Her name is Edye. She is a seasoned legal and compliance professional specializing in clinical research and life sciences. With a Juris Doctor from Indiana University, the Robert McKinney School of Law, and a Master's in International Research Ethics, she brings over 15 years of experience in research compliance, regulatory operations, and clinical trial oversight. Her expertise spans clinical trial compliance, privacy law, and research operations, with a focus on oncology and scaling HRPP and site-specific operational needs. Edye's background includes leadership roles at Indiana University and First Class Solutions, where she served as an adjunct professor, research administrator, and a research business development leader. She currently acts as a senior attorney for the Kulkarni Law Firm, where she advises AMCs, sponsors, CROs, and research sites. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, please join me as I welcome Edye to the Morale Booster. Welcome, Edye. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. Oh my gosh, your introduction is too kind. I hope I can live up to it, and I'm so grateful to be talking to yet another amazing audience, but also one that I don't usually get to necessarily reach with some of my work. So I'm really excited to have this conversation with you and follow the work that you're doing.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I know it's not an easy thing for especially a busy person like yourself to take time out of your busy schedule to come on programs like this, especially talking to people you've never met before. So yeah, clinical research is a familiar territory for me, and so many people, so many of my audience, my members of
Mhm.
my community are into clinical research. Some of them are site owners, research site owners. Some of them are clinical research monitors. Some are clinical trial managers, clinical project managers. And we also have some of them who have recently started their own CROs and are still growing. So basically, those are people who would need a lot of advice
Yes.
from you so they don't get stung, by.
Yep. Yep.
Right. Right. So thank you for all you do. And Yeah, I would like to ask you, some basic questions. For me, getting into clinical research was, I didn't plan for it. And there's so many
Nobody
people
does.
like
I was
that.
just talking about this with
Yes.
somebody. Nobody does. It's like the most accidental thing that you hear across the
Mm.
board, and it doesn't matter which angle or which stakeholder. I actually hear this, and I'm guilty as charged. Same thing here. So I think it's absolutely a space that we all fall into a bit serendipitously, and then you sort of fall in love, right? One way or the other, either because you want to champion or advocate and move into a space, or because you just realize you found your calling. You know what I mean? Maybe you've always wanted to work with patients and you finally have that opportunity in a unique way. And so I think that while I wish it was more proactive and strategic, and I want to leave the next generation with more ability to enter the industry with more support, I know that most of the folks who are out there doing it right now are doing it, like I said, very serendipitously, very accidentally. I don't know if you know Lucy Gilmore of Huxley Morton. She actually helps you find a job. Like, she's fantastic at helping you prepare. And she has this great meme that she posts from time to time of someone like walking out their front door and slipping on a sheet of ice and like falling down the driveway, waggling and screaming, and she's like, how everyone I know ever got into clinical research. It's like, yeah, pretty much. Like, that's true.
Yes, yes, because I have a lot of, nurses in my space, my network, nurses, doctors, and sometimes when I try to explain to nurses what a CRA does, they'll be like, how? I don't understand.
Right.
A
Right.
lot of them don't even know about all these things. So thank God people like you are here to guide those who are interested. So, what inspired your transition into clinical research and life sciences sector?
Yeah, some of it was a bit of a coming home journey. I grew up in a very clinical family. I was just blessed, if you want to call it that, we'll say. But suffice to say, I was surrounded by the healthcare system. I was very aware of how it worked, given what I was, exposed to. And I knew that I was lucky to be a part of what I was a part of and to see what I saw. And but a lot of it was happenstance. I had actually gone to grad school with the intention of doing compliance, but doing it in the international human rights law setting. I was already firmly established in that space and working in that space, and an economic recession pretty much changed the course of my career. And even then, I thought it would be temporary. I was just going to do compliance a slightly different way for a slightly different population. But if I look back now, all of my human rights work usually had some scientific or healthcare bias issue at the core of it, right? It was something about individuals not being treated correctly or given the right access or opportunity. So it's not really that far of a reach that I would wind up then really caring about research ethics and compliance. And of course, that once I got into the world, I'm a big believer in, plan your journey, try to put yourself in the right rooms and the right opportunities. Also, sometimes you just get lucky. Sometimes you're just in the right place at the right time. So read the room, know when you're having that moment. Don't be afraid to seize it. And for me, that was what happened in about the first year I was working in research compliance. Is I kept struggling and thinking I was going to go back to human rights. This was just a small detour due to the economy, due to employability, whatever it might, you might look at it. But then I kept having people remark to me, you're good at this. Like, you actually are really making a difference, and you don't realize it, but you're actually energized by this. And I was so busy focusing on the next step, I wasn't enjoying the moment where I was. And it wasn't until I was really forced to go like, okay, do you want to do this, or do you want to start back over again? You're about a year in. This is your chance to say, I'm going to do research compliance, or I'm going to move on. This really was a temporary detour, and we can obviously see what I chose. But it was something that was happenstance. I can take no credit that it was. Now, what happened after that, after I realized it was the right place, that I was in a supportive environment, that I had mentors that were investing in me and that I knew were going to help me reach new heights that I hadn't even imagined. And were going to help me learn the industry the same way that the last set of mentors had helped me get into human rights. I mean, you're surrounded by that energy and that passion. It's inspiring. After that, did I definitely do things a bit more strategically? Yes. Have I also still gone down some blind alleys and some rabbit holes? Absolutely. Still am guilty as charged, right? But that's life. right? I mean, all of our best plans are a bit laughable in the eyes of the universe, I think.
Right, right, right. Thank you so much for sharing. And I know sometimes there's a lot of micromanaging and you know fatigue, leadership fatigue going on, especially in the space of clinical research that could get people into legal jeopardy. A lot of
Yes.
them. So I know you've held leadership roles across academia, legal practice, and business development. What key leadership lessons have you learned that aspiring professionals in clinical research should adopt?
So first and foremost, and I say this, tongue in cheek, because I'm a big talker and I'm on a lot of pods and I always have a lot of opinions, and folks who know me know I'm not shy. But listen, the best thing you can do, whether you're new or frankly a complete veteran in the industry, listen, approach prepared to absorb. Listening doesn't mean agreeing, it means listening. And anytime in any of the roles that I've been in, whether it was I graduated into leadership or I literally came in at the leadership role and was, getting to know the team as a leader, the best thing I did was listen to the team. Now, does that mean I agreed with absolutely everything everyone said? Of course not. Does that mean I said yes to every ask I got on my listening tour? Absolutely not. Of course not. That wasn't the point. It wasn't to make promises. It wasn't to kiss babies or shake hands or to get political favor. Instead, it was to really learn the dynamic of where I was working and to hear from individuals what they felt like was working in their space and also what they hoped maybe I could affect change in. And also hear it from all the different stakeholders, high and low, left and right, you know what I mean, center and off center, so that I could really begin to take a full inventory and form my own opinions, but have them be really informed opinions. It also creates relationships, which are critical in any industry, but especially what we do. It helped me learn immediately who I was going to lean on and need in any given situation, who I was going to be able to trust. Also, sadly, sometimes who I might not be able to trust as much, or who maybe had strengths in certain areas, but not in others, right? I always like to say, learning who the right people are going to be in each different room I'm going to be constructing, and that is a different set of people. You don't send your starting roster for the NFL into an NBA game. There's a reason for that. They're all phenomenal athletes. They're trained differently for different sports. And while that seems like a silly analogy, that's very much what we deal with in research compliance, is putting the right people in the right room to get the mission accomplished, not just everybody in the room, right? Or nobody in the room. Or frankly, just the lawyers in the room. We really need to have that well-rounded team. And I think what's particularly hard about that, if you're me and you're in compliance or you're, a lawyer in our space, is people tend to be a little quiet around you. Maybe I'm there because I'm auditing your site. You're definitely not talking to me. Maybe I'm the first lawyer that's ever done compliance at your site, and your site is primarily clinicians. I get it. We're cats and dogs. We're not supposed to like each other. I get it. So creating that listening space and letting people know I'm legitimately doing it, not because I'm trying to catch you in an aha moment, or I'm like some secret detective on a CSI mission to bust you. Rather, I'm actually on your team. I'm really there to help you help you. And the same goes for then how I communicate the things that I might see that have room for improvement. How do I do that in a way that lets you know, hey, this is serious? I can't not say it's serious, but also I'm not browbeating you about it. You're learning, and I've learned, and I will continue to learn. In fact, I hope I learn seconds before I expire. So why don't we make this a learning opportunity? How about I help you see why it's a problem, but then quickly pivot it into a fix and a resolution? We're not here to make ourselves feel bad. We're here to grow in this moment together. So I think as a leader, that's that opportunity you have. Come in, listen, learn, establish trust and relationships, and then hit that ground running with an armed team, right? That's come together. I think a lot of times, admittedly, as a leader, you're asked to come in and be a water walker. You've been hired to solve a particular issue or to scale a company a particular direction, and so you come in like hitting the ground, like I know what to do and I need to prove my worth because they're paying me a lot of money, and I'm the new guy with the C-suite title. I get that. You do need to do that. But if you can balance that, if you can give that the 60-40 split with listening and getting to know, your community, your culture will reach a safety level with you as a compliance attorney faster. And that means they will call you when it's time. They won't be like, oh God, Edie's going to yell at me. Oh, I can't tell her this. I'm terrified to call her. If anything, they'll be like, dude, we have to call Edie. She'll be mad if we don't call her at this point. And that's what I want. That's the relationship I want. And I don't care who you are. I don't care if you are a random bystander in the building, a patient, the owner of the whole physician practice, the FDA. That's what I want. I want that transparency that you can come to me and go, we have a problem, or I think you need to be aware of something.
Right. Thank you so much for sharing. And you talked about always reassuring them. When I was a clinical research monitor, that was my favorite strategy.
Yep.
Getting to the site, the first thing I tell them, if it's a new site, the first thing I tell them is, hey, I am not here to audit you.
Yeah.
I'm here to work with you to get your site audit ready. So
Yes.
we're going to work as a team to make your site audit ready.
Well,
So,
and even stopping for a second to appreciate the entrepreneurship angle of this, especially given your crowd. So this is something that I absolutely can't take credit for. So I recently joined the Kulkarni law firm. Darshan Kulkarni, our principal attorney, owner of the firm, longtime colleague and friend. The thing he does so beautifully in this moment is he takes it back a step further. The minute you walk up to him and say, I'm building a site, I'm about to buy a site, I'm about to be acquired, whatever that big, scary adventure it is that you're on, that's also pretty exciting, but you think you might need us. I'm so problem oriented. I'm so ops oriented. I'm like, oh, okay. So you're thinking blah, 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 blah. I'm already like waist deep in it. He is so great at stopping and going, congratulations. Like, I know this is scary, but also this is amazing. I've been where you are. I've been an entrepreneur for years. You can do this. I didn't do it alone. You won't either. And he takes that moment to connect, which I just think is beyond powerful. And I've really tried so hard since I've known him and seen him do that to do that more, because I think you do. It takes so much to even do it, let alone say it out loud. That I think you need to take stock in that moment. And it's really nice to have somebody else who, you're seeking out assistance or guidance or mentorship, but they're turning around and validating that you're doing something big and it is an exciting moment. And it is a career journey moment. It's not, we lovingly get to work so hard to help patients and medical innovation. It's okay to take inventory in our own careers and be proud of ourselves along the way. That you don't have to feel guilty about that. That's a part of who you are as a human. So I just wanted to get that in there because, like I said, he does it so well, and it's a learning point that I'm taking away. And I think it's something your audience should hear, no matter what it is they're starting, no matter what part of the adventure they're on. It is scary, but you're not alone. And also, you're really stinking brave if you're out there doing it, and you deserve to be congratulated, and you deserve to have that moment with someone before they go, hey, I want to help you do it even flipping better than you're already doing it. Right. And be positive in that moment.
absolutely. Thank you so much. So, basically, you talked about something that I know members of my community, the morale booster community, will be very interested in. Um, there are a lot of them who, right now, are at the early stage of their businesses.
Yep.
They own, some of them own sites, some of them are just wanting to start their own CROs.
Mhm,
Do you guide? Do you work with people? Do
mhm.
you provide like a one-stop shop to help them start, or do you only provide legal
Right.
support?
So both actually is the answer to that question. So this is one of the wonderful things about getting to join the Kulkarni law firm is that Darshan and I both do a lot of overlapping work in the clinical trial space as it relates to privacy, FDA regulations, site infrastructure, making sure you're in that audit ready state, understanding if you have a finding, how to come back from it, all those classic pieces that we all know, love, hate, fear, keep us up at night, right? But also make us happy about our jobs. But we also both do things the other does not. So he is phenomenal at mergers and acquisitions. I am phenomenal at building and scaling your HRPP. And so wherever you are in the career journey, as soon as you have that idea, that concept of what you would like to do, we're able to come in, and between the two of us, as well as frankly, we have a paralegal, we have a team of consultants as well who, while not legally licensed, do work for the firm or vetted and overseen by the firm and are excellent in this particular space. we can come in and assess what your need is and go, okay, who should be on this team? How do we customize this to John and John's needs? And we can take, your particular budget, timeline, all of those points that any consultant or law firm, frankly, should be prioritizing and say, here's what it is we think you need. And again, we would love to work with you from the moment you have a concept so that we can make sure you get the right infrastructure from day one. You never have a misstep, you never, misnegotiate a contract, you never lose any footing. But admittedly, a lot of folks, that's not the right time for an engagement. That's not the place, for a variety of reasons. So we certainly meet clients all along the way throughout the life cycle, whether that's, like I said, a proactive or a reactive situation. And we can help you build your infrastructure, build a lot of your business compliance, your contracts, your development around your research site, around your CRO, biotech sponsor. The other really cool part about being in KLF is that even once your drug device particular focus is approved, we also work in the promotional advertising and marketing space. So we can help you as you continue to evolve as an organization throughout, the end-to-end life cycle of life sciences. And if we really don't think that someone on our team can do it, we're not going to say we can. The beauty of working with a law firm is, guess what law firms do really well? Hang out with and know other law firms and other, large consultancies. So if you're going to get into a space, and believe me, we're quick to go, hey, that's not us, that's not us, that's not us. The beauty of us is we both bring almost 20 years of networks together, some overlapping, some not. And we're able to go, I can't help you with that, but the firm has a vetted individual that we use for this who will treat you just like we would treat you. Let me put you in touch. Because let's face it, lawyers find other lawyers very easily. We know we're in that community, we live in that circle. So whether it's a lawyer or compliance consultant or some combination in between, we're probably going to have a better access point and a better ability to go to that particular organization or that subject matter expert and say, this is what John needs and this is what John expects from you. So you feel like you've really got an advocate in that exchange as well. And we're going to check back and be like, John, were you satisfied with this person's services? Did you get your needs met? Because it reflects on us too. And we need to know that you were supported. So I think that's a piece of this. So yes, if any of your listeners are at any of the life stage in the life cycle, we'd love to hear from you. We were just at Save Our Sites, doing exactly that. In fact, we were just giggling about the fact that we had so many amazing attendees at Save Our Sites from all different walks and stakeholder points, but of course, a lot of research sites come up to us and say, like, would it be inappropriate to ask you a question? Am I asking for, a freebie? It was like, no, that's exactly what we're here for. Ask away. You'll probably ask me something I might not have been asked before. I might learn something. So please, no, that's absolutely what we love doing best.
Yes, thank you so much. That was some great information you just put out there. Um, to everybody who's listening right now, to all the people in the clinical research space, now you have just been blessed. Trust me, because she just told you what they cannot handle. They've been in the business for over a decade, going to 2 decades, or even about 2 decades. What they cannot handle, they can connect you with the right people. Those of you who own sites, who own CROs, who are about to start, this is the moment for you to reach out to them. And you will find their website on the show notes. It's right there for you all. Do you mind sharing the best contact information to
Yeah,
you and the
absolutely.
site?
Yeah, so the firm is Kulkarni Law Firm, Kulkarni lawfirm.com. And you can find me, Edie, Edye, at kulkarnilawfirm.com. You can also find us on LinkedIn and YouTube, under either Kulkarni Law Firm or Darshan Talks.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. Her information is right there for you all. By the grace of God, we're streaming on over 20 platforms, only three video enabled platforms. So, every information you all need, and talking to those who are listening to us, you will find the website just right there. Click on that website, and the best time to reach out to them is right now. If you have been working all by yourself, trying to figure it out by yourself, no, you have just been blessed with the
You have a
great
community.
contact.
And also likewise, same to you, John. Thank you for having us and seeing us as a valued member of your community. We see you and the morale booster community the same way. We need individuals at every element and every angle of this commuting, helping to create more visibility, helping to create more support, and helping to make sure, like you said, no one's doing it alone. No one feels like they're lost in that rabbit hole, or that blind alley. So thank you so much for having us. Absolutely appreciate you and your pod.
God bless you. Thank you so much for joining us on the program. I hope when next I invite you, you will be willing to come back and share some more
Oh,
gems
absolutely.
with all right, great. So thank you. It's been a pleasure. And till next time, everybody have a blessed and wonderful day. I know you have to run to go take care of business. God bless you, Edye.
Thank
It's
you
been a
so
pleasure.
very much. Such a pleasure.
All
Thank
right.
you for having me.
You're welcome. Bye, everybody.